Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Chinenye Oye. First, let's bring you the headlines. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, declares Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo winner of the governorship election in Anambra State. NDLEA Special Operation Unit arrests wanted drug lord after months of intelligence and surveillance. Many thanks for joining us. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, winner of the Anambra State governorship election, having polled a total number of 422,664 votes. The announcement followed the collation of results from the 21 local government areas of the state, marking the conclusion of the election that drew significant attention from across Nigeria. Joy Ilebu reports.
Soludo Charles Chukwuma of the APGA, having satisfied the requirement of the law and scored the highest number of votes in this election, is hereby declared the winner and returned elected.
Governor Soludo says his re-election is an evidence of his visionary leadership.
This election and this victory is not just victory, it is history made.
The mood in Awka, the Anambra State capital, is decidedly forward-looking.
One thing I will tell Soludo is this: the expectation is higher than even before his first election.
I'm happy because I see it as a reward for hard work.
Meanwhile, the APC candidate Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu says he is not satisfied with the process and alleges fraud.
We're still collecting, information and then results and all that transpired in different places. And at due course, we're going to make categorical statement about the election.
The next tenor of the incumbent governor will speak if he will match action with his promises. In Awka, Joy Ilebu, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo on his re-election as the governor of Anambra State. The overwhelming victory he recorded in Saturday's poll, the president said, has now made him the third governor in the state's political history to win a second term. He commended the people of Anambra State, the security agencies, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on the peaceful and successful conduct of the governorship election. In a statement signed by the president, describes Professor Soludo's re-election as a testament to his visionary leadership and the significant progress the state has made under his guidance. He commended Governor Soludo for bringing discipline, grace, brilliance, and a fresh perspective to governance in Anambra. Under him, Anambra is living up to its motto as the light of the nation. He urged Governor Soludo to be magnanimous in victory and to seek the cooperation of his opponents in the just concluded elections. He assured the governor of his unwavering support, saying he looks forward to continued collaboration between Anambra and the federal government. The victory of the opposition All Grand Progressives Alliance in the election again demonstrates the vitality of the political system and the fact that victory for any progressive and hardworking leader can hardly be encumbered or denied. Vice President Kashim Shettima has returned to Abuja after leading Nigeria's delegation to the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP30, in Belém, Brazil, where the country reaffirmed its global climate leadership and commitment to a green transition. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkwocha, said the Vice President joined other world leaders, development partners and business executives at the Leaders Climate Summit hosted by the President of Brazil, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. During the summit, Vice President Kashim Shettima represented President Bola Tinubu and delivered Nigeria's statement titled The Rational Soul of Nature, calling on world leaders to recognize the economic value of nature and to channel significant finance towards protecting and restoring it through predictable, equitable and accessible funding mechanisms. He further emphasized that Nigeria's renewed climate agenda represents not just an aspiration, but a solemn national commitment to preserve the planet for future generations. On the sidelines of the summit, Vice President Kashim Shettima held bilateral meetings on carbon market cooperation aimed at unlocking between $2.5 billion and $3 billion annually in carbon finance for Nigeria over the next decade to support the country's transition to a low-carbon economy. And up next is a global update with breaking stories.
Hello and welcome to Global Update. I am Comfort Fashim. Tens of thousands in Dakar have engaged in a demonstration organized by Senegal's ruling party, the African Patriots of Senegal for Work, Ethics and Fraternity, PASTEF. Addressing the crowd, Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko promised to tackle the country's economic woes by reducing the level of corruption, especially the illicit funds in politics. Let's hear from Francis Udojo.
Il faut qu'on neutralise.
Senegal's Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko called on citizens to brace for sacrifices as the nation aims for economic recovery within 2 to 3 years. Elected in 2024 alongside President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, both campaigned on promises to reduce debt and revive growth, citing mismanagement under the previous administration of Macky Sall. Senegal is battling to stabilize its finances, facing a significant budget deficit of 14% of GDP and public debt estimated at a staggering 132% of GDP at the end of last year. To address the crisis, the government has recently implemented new taxes on tobacco, alcohol, gambling, and digital money transfers, a move impacting many citizens. Sonko also announced cuts in government spending, including suspensions of vehicle purchases, official travel, and workshops. Francis Udojo, NT News.
Now, after Tanzania's October 29th election, the number of arrests increased. Those who were detained are now appearing in court in Dar es Salaam. Their lawyer stated that more than 250 individuals are facing treason charges. Ilyas Yakubu has the details.
Following violent election protests in Tanzania, a court charged over 200 people with treason.
All of these ladies and gentlemen, numbering more than 250 in total, were arraigned in 3 separate cases before the Resident Magistrate Court of Dar es Salaam at Kisutu, and they're all charged with 2 sets of offenses. Number 1, the first set of offense is conspiracy to commit treason.
President Hassan won with 98% of the vote. Protests erupted on election day with unconfirmed reports of possible thousands killed amidst a 6-day internet shutdown. And to make matters worse, a 6-day internet blackout significantly limited the dissemination of verified information. Charged individuals face accusations of obstructing the election and damaging government property. A lawyer reported detainees were beaten and denied medical care. Opposition sources claim that at least 800 were killed, a figure backed by some diplomatic sources, though the government has not released any official casualty figures. Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
With Typhoon Fongguan bearing down on the Philippines, authorities have evacuated nearly 1 million residents as floodwater surge. Dramatic video released by the Philippine Coast Guard shows the rescue of residents from Jomalik Island. The super typhoon, stretching across much of the archipelago, is currently packing winds of 185 kilometers per hour near its center as of 0300 hours GMT. The super typhoon, following closely on the heels of another devastating storm, is predicted to make landfall in Aurora province between 8 o'clock p.m. and 11 o'clock p.m. local time. According to state weather forecasters Charmaine Varia, with a radius nearly covering the entire Philippines, Fongguang is set to unleash strong wind and heavy rains over large parts of the archipelago, which recently suffered over 220 fatalities from Typhoon Kalmagi. In preparation, schools and government offices will be closed on Monday across Luzon, including the capital, Manila, where nearly 300 flights have been cancelled. On Sunday, members of Iraqi security forces and internally displaced individuals took part in early voting ahead of the upcoming parliamentary elections. Polling began at 0400 hours GMT for the armed forces, who make up to 1.3 million of the over 21 million eligible voters and will be on duty to provide security on election day, according to the Iraqi news agency. More than 26,500 internally displaced people are also eligible for early voting. Scheduled for November 11th, these elections mark the sixth since the 2003 U.S.-led invasion that ended Saddam Hussein's rule. And over 7,740 candidates, with nearly one-third being women, are competing for the 329 parliamentary seats. And that is it on Global Updates. I am Comfort Fashion.
Many thanks, Comfort. I'm back here in Nigeria. Operatives of a Special Operations Unit of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, have arrested a wanted drug lord after months of intelligence and surveillance on him and his criminal drug activities. Sawa Khalil Ibrahim reports that 2 elderly citizens were also arrested on drug-related offenses.
The 40-year-old drug kingpin is alleged to have been initially arrested and charged for drug offenses in the United Kingdom, but jumped bail and escaped to Nigeria to set up a massive clandestine laboratory in the Lekki area of Lagos State for an illegal production of Colorado, a deadly synthetic cannabis and other illicit substances. He, however, ran out of luck when he walked into the waiting hands of NDLEA operatives at the Lagos airport while attempting to board his flight to Saudi Arabia for the Lesser Hajj. He was arrested alongside his partner and a suspect. In Niger State, NDLEA operatives intercepted another suspect in a Volvo truck along Kainji-Wawa Road while conveying 87,000 pills of tramadol and 72 kilograms of skunk, a strain of cannabis. Meanwhile, a 73-year-old grandpa was arrested in a cannabis plantation in Isako East local government area of Edo State, where 1,459.75 kilograms skunk was destroyed and 5.6 kilograms of same substance evacuated. Similarly, a 70-year-old grandma was snapped in Yanagua, Bayelsa State, with 5 kilograms skunk. The NDLEA describes the dismantling of the clandestine laboratory as the first in the series of its operational strikes against merchants of death who prey on the weak in the society. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a break here. There will be more reports when we return. Do stay.
Constitutionally, every Nigerian is guaranteed the right to freedom of faith, meaning that whether you are Muslim or you are Christian, you are free to practice your faith in our country. But you also have to see the activities of government, what government has done, especially in the last 2 years. Of course, successive governments have tried. In the last 2 years, there has been a renewed focus renewed attention is being put to ensure that Nigeria becomes safe. But it's also wrong to characterize Nigeria as a country that does not tolerate religious freedom. It's also wrong to say that everywhere is not safe in Nigeria. Nigeria is indeed a safe country. The government of Nigeria is working hard to ensure protection of lives and properties, and also ensuring that people go about their businesses. You have to recognize that there is a massive drive by government to ensure that Nigeria is ultimately safe for everyone.
Many thanks for staying on. Africa stands at a decisive junction and must confront threats to security and stability head-on. Coordinator, National Center for Counter-Terrorism, Major General Adamu Garba Laka, stated this during a high-level engagement with the African Union. He stressed that no nation is safe until every nation is secure, underscoring the need for collective responsibility in tackling terrorism and violent extremism across the continent.
It stands at a decisive juncture in its security trajectory. The threats we face are transnational, asymmetric, and constantly evolving. Instability in one country inevitably spills across borders, affecting trade, migration, and human security. For this reason, no nation is safe until every nation in our region is secure.
This position was reinforced by Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, the AU Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, who emphasized that continental cooperation is the only way to safeguard Africa's future.
As an African Union Center of Excellence, for you to be able to walk across the various 5 regions of a continent, making sure that the bad guys do not control our sovereignty. And we, as the African Union, we are ready. The terrorists cannot take over our continent, and we cannot afford any inch of space for them.
The federal government has promised to ensure the speedy completion of the Abuja-Kano highway and expressed concern over the rising cases of vandalism and misuse of newly constructed and ongoing road projects. Minister of State for Works, Bello Muhammad Goronyo, issued the warning during an inspection of the ongoing Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano road project. Usman Zuberu reports.
The ongoing construction of the Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Expressway will span about 418 kilometers. The project is a vital transportation artery that connects the Federal Capital Territory to over 12 states. This vital corridor is a major link within the nation's socio-economic zones. However, there are reports of individuals destroying the road section, removing safety railings, particularly along the Jaji Bridge corridor in Kaduna State. Minister of State for Works Bello Goronyo, while on the inspection, condemned what he described as an act of sabotage and carelessness, as government has invested huge resources on this project and they must be protected for the benefit of all.
I want to call on the community leaders, please caution their words. Try as much as possible to keep this road in good condition because of the huge investments, the huge funds that have been allocated to this project.
Speaking on the progress work on the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Expressway, Bello Goronyo noted that the improved section of the route have enhanced travel safety and reduced insecurity. The Abuja-Kaduna section is being constructed entirely with the rigid concrete pavement, while the Kano exit, including the completed 6.6-kilometer airport route, uses asphalt. Affirming the federal government determination to complete the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria Expressway within the record time, the minister described it as one of the presentable flagship projects aimed at strengthening economic integration.
Mr. President has directed that we should plant trees here, we should put CCTV cameras and solar lights all the way to make it more conducive and more safer for travelers.
Senior project manager for Infuse International, Robert Turner, stated the company's commitment to meeting the government deadline. Usman Zubairu, NTA News.
The Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA, Dr. Muyi Aina, in collaboration with the Governor of Kogi State, has commissioned 80 revitalized primary healthcare facilities and handed over essential medical equipment and commodities to the Kogi State government to enhance healthcare delivery. The revitalized facilities, upgraded under the World Bank-supported Impact Project in partnership with the NPHCDA, are aimed at expanding access to quality, affordable and reliable primary health care services across the state. Following the commissioning, Dr. Aino formally handed over a consignment of medical equipment and essential commodities to the state government for distribution to PHC facilities. This handover underscores the federal government's commitment to strengthening state health systems and improving health outcomes for citizens.
I thank Mr. President for all he's doing at this very material time in terms of health, in terms of education by giving us student loan, in terms of fighting insecurity, in terms of agriculture, in terms of human capital development, in terms of making us to believe in ourselves.
We continue to show up for the health of Kogites, and I dare say we have never had it this good, Your Excellency. You are an embodiment of a real translation of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision of high-quality, equitable access to primary health care that people can trust.
Executive Director, accompanied by Governor Ododo, also commissioned and inspected the newly completed Model Primary Health Care Center at Old Market Road, Lokoja, describing it as a standard for patient-centered quality health care delivery. Delivery room, neonatal intensive care unit, and maternity-side laboratory, further boosting maternal and child health services in the state. In a renewed effort to tackle unemployment and promote self-reliance among young people, 160 youths from Kafin Hausa local government area have successfully completed a 5-week vocational training program in various trades. Mohammed Musa Askira reports that the initiative aligns with the Jigawa State government's vision of reducing poverty by 10% annually.
The 5-week intensive training covered diverse skills areas including ICT and digital literacy, catering, leatherworks, handset repair, solar installation, tailoring, welding, plumbing and task making, all designed to equip the beneficiaries with practical income-generating skills. At the closing ceremony, the beneficiaries received empowerment tools such as sewing machines, refrigerators, ovens, laptop computers, plumbing kits and tile-making equipment, among others, to enable them start their own businesses immediately. Governor Umar Namadi reiterated that the program is in line with his administration's strategic policy of reducing poverty by 10% annually through practical empowerment and sustainable economic opportunities.
This is something that is part and parcel of our administration agenda, and we continue to expand this from time to time to ensure that all the youth in Jigawa State have something to depend on.
There is equipment here that I have never seen before, but it is here today. We thank you, Your Excellency.
While in Kafin Hausa, Governor Umar Namadi took his time to inspect the ongoing construction of Sangaya Mega School and Government Day Science and Technical College, designed to expand access to education and avail Al-Majri the opportunity for combined education. Experts said, with the skills and startup tools now in their hands, the newly trained youths of Kafin Hausa are set to contribute to the local economy, a step that underscores Jigawa State's growing commitment to inclusive government and youth development. From Duty, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
About 250 operators of micro, small and medium-scale enterprises from across Ogun State have undergone a 3-day intensive training in various vocations to boost their businesses. Hakim Jimo reports that the training, an NMSME Straight Fair, was facilitated by the senator representing Ogun West Senatorial District, Solomon Olamileko Adiola.
With the theme MSME as a catalyst for economic growth, participants drawn from across Ogun State were taken through 3 days intensive training on how best to produce, package, rebrand, and distribute their products, as well as the processes involved in business registration. They are grateful to their benefactor, Senator Solomon Olamilekan Adiola, for adding quality values to their businesses.
Very appreciative for what they've done, because they've tried for everything. I will tell others when this type of something happens, they should try to participate.
To make sure that we save part of our revenue after the expenses, we should not consume everything that comes to us.
What I'm taking home from this lesson is that I should think big, and then I should start small, and then I will gain more.
Senator Solomon Adiola, who was represented, acknowledges that the gesture is a way of giving back to the society and challenged the beneficiaries to utilize the lessons acquired at the training.
Whatever they have learned, they should not forget about it. They should get home, try, sit down on their own, and then examine, rethink again about what they have learned so far. And then they should be able to fashion way how all these things will benefit them.
To showcase what we have in Ogun West and how we can synergize to promote their various produce, so that the world will know what they are actually doing around here, and how we can see the interaction between them and the various government agencies, how they can benefit in terms of value addition.
For them to be able to let people see the impact of the government in them, they have to do what? Keep moving and make sure their company or their